What's up, H-Town and all around? OSG here, Dynamic Foxtrot on the other side. This is the Dash Dispatch. Welcome back. It's been a minute. Hey, but games are about to start back up, so we'll be coming back at you weekly again. But hey, first off, as I said, OSG here, Dynamic Foxtrot sitting next to me in the Foxtrot studios. What's going on, Andres?
OSG, pretty good, sir. It kind of feels unreal that it's already been a month without the Dash playing in the NWSL, and we're almost at that point where we start games, and we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. It is time to get back into the NWSL season, man. It's over with. But before we get into the season, we've got some things to go over with real quick. Two internationals out on duty. One didn't do so well. One did pretty well. Country-wise. So we'll start with. Sorry, Andres. We'll start with Barb and Venezuela. They started their Women's Copa America down south, and obviously last time we talked, they had already played Brazil and lost 2-0. So they got Colombia. We said this was a match where you could dictate the rest of the group play. After that, but you ended up drawing 0-0. Then you took it to Bolivia 7-1, and then as we're watching those the other night working together against Paraguay, they just epically just failed you. So I'll let you, talk about it as Venezuela is eliminated from the Copa America tournament. How do you feel, man? How do you feel?
It's disappointing because going back to the game against Colombia, that was the game that we had to win to have a shot at making the Final Four. And as we talked about previously, the tournament itself, or like the format, how it's specifically done, it's very it's very competitive because only two teams out of the two groups advance to the semifinals, and it's really tough, especially in a group that we had Brazil, Colombia, and of course Paraguay fighting with us. I wouldn't really consider Bolivia a contender, but we had the game against Colombia, the game that we had to win at all costs to have a chance, and unfortunately, that game was just absolutely disappointing, considering the that both teams were in a sense evenly matched, and Venezuela was not able to capitalize, and we had to draw. And at that point, it was kind of like, okay, I know for sure we can beat Bolivia, and we now kind of have to hope for a miracle against Paraguay in the last game of the group stage. Unfortunately,
I
we got
mean,
a red
it
card.
was win and ask for a lot from
Yeah,
Brazil to beat Colombia, right? Is how you needed to get in.
yeah, like not just beat Paraguay in that stage, but also have Brazil like pummel Colombia by a ton of goals to reduce the goal differential, and it was gonna take a miracle essentially. And the game against Paraguay, unfortunately, we did start winning, but we let them score again, and we got a red card, and Paraguay got back into the game to win. So disappointing, and yeah, it was just a really uh so tournament by Venezuela because they played very well against Brazil. Brazil beat them. I kind
Yeah.
of it's gonna be hard to beat Brazil either way, but I was expecting more of them, I guess, in the big games against Colombia and Paraguay.
You started out better and then you ended. So good effort, I guess. Barb probably enjoyed her tournament. She really didn't stand out as far as scoring a goal or stats wise or anything like that, but a good experience. So she'll be back with the dash now. I'm sure Fabrice will give her a break, and I wouldn't expect to see her against Bay just because she's coming back and she does need a little bit of a break before you get back into it. Unless she's just a trooper and says, "Put me in, coach." But I guess we'll see. We'll find out on Saturday. But all right, man, we'll move on. We'll get out of the bad. We'll get the bad and the ugly out of the way. We'll move on to the good. As we've got England and Spain, the Women's Euros final is on right now. Watching it 10 minutes in. Spain and England 0-0. Spain is driving, trying to score. They're taking a couple shots here recently on the past couple minutes, but we're watching. So as we're recording this episode, we'll keep you in tune to that game that I'm sure you're watching right now. If you're listening to us, I know you're watching this Euro final for damn sure. I'm a Man City fan. So I got 4 players in England and 1 on Spain. So looking forward to it. 2 of them, 3 of them are playing right now. Started. Yeah. Michelle Alozie also playing international duty for Nigeria, as we mentioned before. So the women's AFCON Cup. This is they've won it 10 times now. Not now. They've won it 10 times coming into this tournament. And last time we spoke, they'd beaten Tunisia 3-0 and beaten Botswana 1-0 and drew Algeria 0-0 to win the group. And we were waiting on the quarterfinal to happen. So that we made it to the playoffs. We made it all the way through to the final since the last time we talked, and we got an update for you. So first against Zambia, Nigeria won 5-0. Next game, they got South Africa. This was the big one, man. This was the big one because Alozie, it's 1-1. Extra time going into, not extra time, but we'll call it, extra time. 93rd minute, I think it was. She's playing her defensive spot. She puts in a big cross, big left-footed cross right into the box, right to one of her forwards. Well, it was a little bit too far, but it was enough to try for it and distract the keeper, and it kind of, the keeper made a play for it, got a fingertip on the ball, but it still went in, and Alozie is threaded with the game-winning goal, the game-winning score, and to advance them to the final against Morocco. Yeah, against Morocco, which was another incredible game, man. I don't know if you got to see it or at least got to see the highlights, Andres. They were down 2-0 and came back and won 3-2. Nigeria wins the women's AFCON Cup, and Michelle Alozie is a champion. If you haven't seen the pictures already, go check them out. She did an angel. She bit the gold medal. Did you get a chance to see any of that one, Andres?
I did see the highlights. I wasn't able to see the game live, but it's just wonderful to see Michelle Alozie succeeding, especially representing her country at the high stage. And man, I'm looking forward to the World Cup soon. It just have to see how Nigeria is able to fit against everybody else, which I feel like is gonna be like a good barometer as to how the Nigerian national team is gonna be compared to Africa.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So she'll be returning back as well. I do not expect to see her Saturday either, and she deserves a break. Maybe she doesn't come back home just as quick. You get to enjoy it with her country and enjoy the celebrations and go back to the parade and all that good stuff. I'm sure they're going to have one in Nigeria. Also, while she was there, she spoke out to the media saying, take notice. NWSL, there's African players here that can play in the NWSL and deserve to play in the NWSL. Not just talking about Nigerian players. She was talking about Africa as a whole. And I'm with her that there needs to be more. There's so many names over there, and they're playing in other places too, good ones, So, but hey, I'm with it. Bring talent, because I kind of
We need that right now.
To come to the Houston Dash anyway. So, but that's your international. So we're still watching England versus Spain. Not still. I mean, of course, it's still going on. It's only been 3 minutes since the last update. It's still 0-0, but. All right, man. We had 2 scrimmages or 2 friendlies that the Dash were played. We talked about Monterrey last time. This time we played the Carolina Ascent, whatever. We played the Carolina Ascent at Houston Sports Park. It was a season ticket holder members event. They played on the practice field. It was kind of good. It was warm. They had the people sit on the end lines behind the goal. As the sideline, you don't want to sit on the sideline. It was a little it. So sit behind the goal and enjoy the game, which we did, and it was a pretty damn good game. Dash pretty much dominated the entire game. Carolina made some attempts with their gameplay, trying to force the ball over and beat our defense. It was good to see that our defense wasn't allowing their forwards to get past and come through onto our goal. And in 1v1 situations, they maintained it. They kept it under control. Midfield was solid. Defense was solid. Messiah Bright put in a good shift playing striker. This game, we did win the game 2-0. Goals from Jacobs and goals from Sheehan. Sheehan in the first half, Jacobs in the second half. Almost identical too. They were both played set up beautifully, and then they both one-touched it and just put a rocket into the corner. And they were both pretty They were both golazos, pretty goals, pretty goals. One in front of, supporters sat on both sides, but one on each side. So if you were a supporter and you went to that game, each side got a goal and each one got to enjoy it. But it was good. It was comfortable. It was fun. I got to talk to Fabrice after the game. Pretty much, there was a couple photographers there, but the only standing media, Bio City was there, but as a fan with his daughter, Dustin. But I don't know if there was no really highlights, but I don't know if you got to see the goals that were scored as they happened. But it was good build up. Looked good from the dash, playing the Carolina Ascent that won the league last year and has added 8 players to their roster this season. So they've got things they were trying to figure out, but it was a pretty damn good game. What'd you get about it?
I was able to see the goals. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see the entire game to have like a good opinion as to its turnout. But I'm definitely glad that the Dutch were able to face one of the USL's Women's League's opponents, which is always good. I've always been a proponent of like how we need like lower division women's soccer to eventually get into promotion relegation talks. But I mean that's really a big debate. But I'm very glad that they've been able to play a scrimmage, especially like in a month where you have no games and you need actual competitive opponents to just stay in shape for the upcoming schedule in NWSL. But I did see the goals. The goals were pretty. I mean, they were pretty flashy for sure. I just wish I could see like the game, as to see how well contested it was or how like the build up started. But I'm definitely pleased with the goals. I just hope to see more of that in the league.
Right, right. The game wasn't streamed, so nobody got to see it unless you were there. But if you're in Dash group chats, wherever they may be, Facebook or Instagram, wherever your chats are at, I have one in a Discord with just a small few of us, but we'd like to invite you there and let that little chat grow. And it's Dash only, women's soccer, USA as well. So we talk about them here and there, but like to make it a little bit more. So hey, feel free, come welcome. It's private, so there's not 100,000 people watching it and just commenting here and there. So it's peaceful. So hey, let me know. I'll let you in. It's in another Discord, but it was a good game. I wish it could have been streamed, but it wasn't. But it was a good recap. And if you go and listen, Andres did post on Foxtrot TV the press conference, we're going to call it, talking to Fabrice afterwards after the game. So you can go recap that if you would like to, please. I do ask him, the last question: what do the fans have looked forward to as we're trying to move out of 12th place? And it's encouraging. So we'll see how much solidity you get out of his lineups and his decision makings now. Can't be toying around with it no more. England stole the ball out of the back and almost put it in on Spain's keeper. That's one of my city girls. But man, so now that before we get back into it, these 2 results, Monterrey and Carolina, what can you take out of them that you would like to see for Brief and the team continue to do or do that maybe was different as we go back into the second half of the season?
Obviously, morale being the first one, and the ability to experiment things around to see what can change, because we're heading into a critical stretch of games. Like you said, we are in 12th place and need results more than anything, because the pack for the playoff spots, it's slowly but surely like spreading out in terms of points, and we are not looking good. We haven't won a single game since June, so we need some sort of way to not just reinvent ourselves, but rather keep the strong mentality going and get those goals, get those wins, because it's by the time you think about it, this is gonna be that opportunity to get back into a group of things is gonna be gone for you, and the season's riding on this one.
Yeah, I'd like to see both sides of the ball be consistent together. at the same time during the same game. It's usually the defense is good and the offense is struggling, or the days that we do score goals, it's the defense that struggles. It's never both together as a unit. So we'll need to see if we can find that piece of the puzzle and work together as a unit. And that's on the attack has to score those goals when they're supposed to score them goals, pretty much too. You'd like to see those that XG, as you say, go up, and more opportunities, more goals, better opportunities, better goals. So it'll be curious. It'll be curious to see, who's going to be the striker up top to start against the AFC. Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? I think it's from the two games against Monterrey and Carolina. It's obviously it's going to be Jane. It's going to be starting. They split against her and Abby. Split against Monterrey, but Jane played the entire game against Carolina. So that tells you that Greece has gone back to Jane Campbell as your starting keeper. So that's one we can pick. The rest, you can pencil in names. You just don't know where they're going to play right now or how they're going to play. So we'll see. It goes. Who's going to be your back line across the board? Is it going to be the 4? Is it going to be the 5 with the 2 wing backs? Is it going to be, is it going to be a 4-4-2? Is it going to be a little bit of a different? So who knows? We'll see. I'll be curious. I'd like to see Gas plays the Cam a little bit more. Messiah's got to play striker and be a little more dominant. She did have 2 point blank shots in that Carolina game that was stopped by the keeper. So he could have had a goal and we'd be talking about, it looked really good that game. But I'm with you there. But all right, well, while we were talking about that and watching that game, Angela, I guess, was at work. She was at the game, by the way, so she might have been on the phone while watching the game.
And she better be on the phone.
She better be on the phone still right now as we even talk, because we signed somebody, but I had to look at it like, who? No. So we signed Carlissa Larisey. She's a Canadian player. Where does she come from? Crap.
Crystal Palace.
Oh, yeah. Crystal Palace. She was only there for one season. And she has not scored in 2025. Her team before that, BK Hazen, I believe is what it was a Swedish team. Yes, she did show that she can score goals, and she was consistently scoring goals. I believe her last season with that team, 8 goals in 25 games. There was one with Celtic where she appeared in 12 games and scored 12 goals and had 4 assists. And that's the Celtic, and we know what Celtic is in the Scottish League. They're just dominant, absolutely dominant, because there is no competition in that league. But 12 for 12 and 4 assists in 12 games. That's crazy consistency. So she has shown that she can score. She just hasn't scored in this year. When you saw this, Andres, what were your thoughts? What were your initial thoughts before you even looked at it to see who she was, and then once you looked her up to see who she was? Give me your thoughts. First thoughts and second thoughts.
First thoughts, it was like, we signed an attacker. Great, let's check it out. And I really wasn't expecting a player like Carlissa in the first place. I felt like we've been manifesting all these players for so long. We kind of just want like some big name player or
Sorry to interrupt. Spain just scored. Beautiful play into the box header goal. Spain won that in 25th minute.
Nice. No, you're good. No, yeah, I feel like we were so kind of spoiled that we weren't expecting like some of the players that we were mentioning in previous episodes, but I wasn't really expecting Carlissa Larisey. And the more I investigate into it, it's gonna be like a 2.5 year deal, so up until 2027. And she definitely brings a lot of experience. And the main question for me comes down to, is she going to be supported, or is she going to be that driving forward that's going to be putting all the balls inside the box to create those opportunities? And unfortunately for me, it's kind of the former. I feel like we've been dealing with the forward situation for so long, like going back to Ebony Salmon, Diana Ordóñez, and how are they able to to produce if we don't have that type of support. So for me, that's the main question heading to this one. But of course, there's still plenty of uh, of the transfer window to see if the team's going to be able to do something about that. But as things stand, I feel like goal production will be good. Needs to be good. Needs to improve. This is a good step, but at the same time, I don't think it paints a full picture to see how this team is going to get the goals going in.
Striker's what we need. We've been trying to manifest one with a little bit more of a resume behind her name. You said spoiled. We're not spoiled. We're reaching. we're reaching because
Reaching too much, yeah.
spoiled means we've had and we're continuing to have. No, we're reaching. We're trying to manifest, and there's still an opportunity. There's not to say that we're done. This doesn't mean they could go out and still get a prolific striker out there as well, but this also could be, hey, this is what we're going to reach for. This is about as much as you're going to get. I know y'all been asking for a lot on the show, but yeah, here we are, and we like what we're bringing you. So I'd like to see her. You mentioned connections, and we got to create. I think we have the pieces to get the assist, find the box, put the ball in the box, get the ball across, put the ball dangerously into situations, and it's been the striker that has been lacking in scoring, which I think we can only count them on one hand how many goals the striker's actually scored. And I think Yaz has one in the striker position, and then Messiah has one. So I can't even remember the others. So you should have strikers scoring goals. So if you find a striker that can score goals, maybe she comes in and she can score goals because she's going to be given the opportunity because the ball's going to be there. Ryan Garys is going to get crosses it. A.B. Patterson obviously is going to get crosses it. Jasmine Ryan's going to be dribbling down the middle of the field. It's going to get opportunities for your striker to be open, to get rebounds, to put them. So Clarissa has goal scoring opportunities in her. Just not this year. This calendar year. So I'm with it. She's new to the Canadian International, even though she started in 2022. She has 12 caps. So I think she's still trying to build with herself with the Canadian national team. But it's good that her national team is within the same time zone pretty much. So when we're missing another one for international duty, it's not going to interfere too much. They're not going to travel across the friggin' ocean, and the time's going to change on you. But any final comments on Clarissa before we move on to Bay FC?
I mean, I definitely look forward to it. I always, with all the Dash players, wish her the best, and I hope to see that goal production going. It's more so, like you said, we just have to create those opportunities more than anything, and just being able to service Clarissa like all the way towards the box or do something, because I feel like we could also be missing that final touch, literally the finishing touch to get the goals going. So we'll see, but I'm expecting big things.
See us here in Houston. So we'll see what Fabrice has to say about her in the next press conference coming up. It'll probably be Thursday because it actually probably will be Friday because Dynamo will be a Thursday press conference this week probably. So you'll know when it comes out. The press conference will get the heads up for Reese, and then will we see her on Saturday? She is in Houston. She has been with the team for a week. So don't look for her to start. Look for her to come in late if she's going to get time, if she's ready, if she's available. So we'll see. We'll be curious, man. But this is a game. Now we move on to Bay FC as we get back into the second half of the schedule, sitting in 12th place, taking on 10th place Bay FC in Bay FC. We just recently played Bay and we tied them 2-2. It was the A.B. Patterson scored the goal earlier. We go down 2-1, and then Messiah Bright just helps us right at the end, 2 minutes to go before the end of the game, and ties it up 2-2. And that's how that game went. So we get the rematch per se, or the second half of this leg in Bay. I think it's an 8:30 game on Saturday night. I forgot to check what TV it's going to be on, but most likely NWSL Plus. What to expect? I don't know. You saw it 2-2 last time. What to expect? Just a little more consistency. a little more. Let's go forward. Let's play with more of a tempo. Let's play more. It's going to establish the dash. So Bay's a good team altogether. What I remember about Bay is they have Didasco on their team. Looking at this game against Bay FC, Andres, what are you looking at? How are you looking at this game?
So this one's gonna be at 9 p.m. and it's actually gonna be on Ion. So
Okay.
get your subscription going, or find a way to watch it because it might just be on cable. But honestly, heading into this game, it's it's more so mixed feelings and wonder to see how we're gonna adapt. Because obviously we haven't played an NWSL game in a month, and things could be different. I hope things are different because I said initially that we haven't won a game since June, but that's actually incorrect. It's actually May. We haven't won a game since May, and it's I want to see the energy that I've seen for road games this year, and I feel like this team can maintain that. It's more so how they're gonna stay composed against Bay FC because Bay obviously they're coming into being one of the newer teams in the league and still trying to get the point across. Obviously, Idasco, one of those players that I hope she could have been staying, but unfortunately she's not with the opponent, and it's gonna be. I felt weird that time whenever they played in Houston, but still, honestly, I don't know what to expect here. I want to see a fresh team off the field because I don't want to see the dash that I've been seeing this year, especially the past couple months, and I look forward to see what Fabrice does. Honestly,
I'm very curious, man, as well to see how he comes out with this lineup for this first game. How do you use Natalie Jacobs too? He's so versatile and so well and so good. So where do you use her? Because he's going to take someone else's spot as well. But you need her on the field, and you need her to. If she's dangerous in the attack as well, man, like she moves the ball forward, she dribbles, she keeps the ball at her face. She, he's a hybrid player, but I don't know, man. It's watching those two games against Monterrey and against Carolina, and getting to see the Carolina game in person as well too. 6 goals, none against over the last month in those two friendlies as well against good competition. Granted, both were in preseason, so and we're in mid-season form, so there was that. But I like what we saw, and you didn't expect a 4-0 win against Monterrey at all. You were still expecting to get beat even against a preseason form team. So it was. I like what was happening. So I'm very curious. I can't wait for Saturday at 9 o'clock now. We're a whole friggin' week away still. But I guess we have two Dynamo games in between to keep us busy. It's probably not going to be good things. I don't know. It might be bad medicine, but as he said on Ion, 9 o'clock. That's 9 o'clock Eastern or 9 o'clock Central on Saturday.
Central,
9 o'clock
yeah.
Central on Ion Saturday night. You've got nothing else to do anyway, so hey, check it out or go hit up one of the watch parties. I'm sure the Dash will post where the watch party is. I think they only have a couple choices that they stick with right now anyway. So if you're in Houston, want to watch the Dash game with friends late night downtown, go check them out. Should be fun. We're 35 minutes in with Spain still beating New England 1-0. Andres, man, I think we run through it. That was pretty quick. We talked about Barb and Alozie, Venezuela and Nigeria. We recapped Carolina. We talked about Carlissa Larisey. We talked about Bay. Now, the transfer window is still open. Is there still an opportunity for us to keep manifesting somebody else here?
Yeah.
Can Angela do more? Does Angela have the opportunity to go do more, or was this it?
Well, she has to do more. First of all, we are not in a good place, not just in the standings, but also mentally speaking. We do need reinforcements dearly, and obviously, one of the main thing that is affecting this team is the goal production more than anything. And Carlissa Larisey is definitely a good first step. Like I previously mentioned, it's more so how this team is supposed to look and how this team is viewed by the league itself. Because we kind of already talked about all this talent that's just undervalued in all these places that people don't tend to look at, and also even stars. Obviously, it's a little bit difficult to bring in those bigger names, kind of like Cat Macario, like with him manifesting for so long. I feel like we're just missing that game changer more than anything, because if we look at any other players or stars of bigger names that can definitely come in and be the change for the dash, I feel like it can definitely pay off for Houston more than anything, and not just bring the fans back and also just keep the morale going, but also mentally speaking, turn things around. Because I feel like just having that type of player that the players see and it be like, okay, this player can definitely change things for us in a whim, no matter what we do on the field. So I feel like more than anything is that type of game changer, or you could say some sort of designated player that can just come in and everyone be like, damn, Houston actually got this player. Yeah, so I feel like more than anything, that's the thing that's missing in that Angela. I feel like she's definitely working towards that, assuming that's the case. But I feel like that's the thing that is needed by Houston more than anything, because it's cool that we have all these players, all this talent on the field that's just able to perform. Unfortunately, not in the way that we want, but if we have that type of player or poster player that's just able to promote not just Houston but also soccer altogether, just be like, okay, this player plays for Houston. We know how she works, and she's gonna get the job done in Houston. So that's the top player that Houston needs more than anything.
Hey, I'm real curious as to what Abajadi's going to do now. WAFCON's over, right? I know they still got time to celebrate, but now I'm curious as to where she's going to go. Who's she going to play for? You know, she may have already chosen somebody in Europe because their seasons are getting ready to start, and that would probably be a better choice. Or she could just drop into the NWSL, where I've heard she might want to come too, right in the midseason here, and finish off with a team strong. Right, jump right into the neck of the season. So I'm curious as to where she's going to go, and maybe that's an opportunity out there. And you get Clarissa, and then you bring in this Rashida. But we'll still be hopeful. We'll still be dreaming. We'll still be manifesting. We'll
Always.
wait. We'll play it by ear, and we'll see what Angela and Jessica are cooking. But I think that brings us to the end of the show. I'm going to cue Andreas here with the socials. Man, y'all check out the Dash Dispatch newsletter as well. The Dash Dispatch will be out weekly again, starting next week, either on Sunday or Monday night, or come out Monday or Tuesday mornings. Either one, just keep an eye out. Obviously, if you subscribe or you know where to look, you're going to see them. They're going to be there. But they will be back out weekly starting next week, as we have a game every week. So there's no reason for us to chill and take a little break. But otherwise, Andreas, where else can they find us? If they don't know where to find us, where can they find us? Where can they follow? Where can they subscribe? Where can they keep up with the Dash Dispatch and all the news dash that we try to keep up with?
Everywhere, man. But as always, you said, the newsletter or the written version of Dash Dispatch, it's in our Substack. So if you haven't checked it out or subscribed yet, feel free to do so. We do have all the links in the profiles, not just on Twitter, but also on YouTube with the full a list of links. And make sure you check out our Substack. It's foxtrot.substack.com or substack.foxtrot.com, but you can always check the link in our profiles. So check it out if you haven't already. And also social media at Dynamic Foxtrot is going to be our handle for X, Instagram, Blue Sky, and we also have a separate we also do have a separate profile called Nuevo Tiempo on X, so make sure to check that out. Stay updated as we keep you guys covered for not just Dash, but also Dynamo and Dynamo Dos, as we already covered a game here in Austin, and we're looking forward to post a Foxtrot game day pretty soon. If you haven't checked it out already, by the time this comes up. And of course, if whenever you're watching, whenever you're listening to our podcast, we're pretty much in all the podcast platforms. So search Noodle Time. We're gonna be there. If we're not on your favorite platform, let me know. I'll have us added as soon as possible. And the best way to watch us is gonna be our YouTube channel, Foxtrot TV. So check it out and subscribe. I like all of our videos. Give us feedback. We read our comments, and of course, whenever we post our videos there, we also do so on Goals TV. That's gonna be goals.tv, spelled with a C. Also a good platform to check out other soccer content creators like us. So I encourage you to check it out if you haven't already. And of course, as always, you just mentioned the newsletter, the written version of Dash Dispatch. Check it out if you haven't already. And as always, we do appreciate the support, and I look forward to see how the season turns out for the Dash. And we just always hope for the best.
EPFO, right? EPFO. It's time to get back into the games that count. Time to get into the nitty gritty, man, nitty gritty. But hey, we appreciate y'all for listening. As you said, on all platforms, check it out. Comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you agree. Let us know if you disagree too. I'm good with that. I try to comment as much as I can. It may not be a deep, long story where I'll put you to sleep at night, but I'll comment as much as we can. So say hello on the social, say hi wherever you see us, and we'll try to do everything we can to bring you more and more and more and more. But Andres, the dynamic Foxtrot, I'm OSG. This is the Dash Dispatch. Aces up.
Go beyond.